Hello plant friends, my name is Victoria and you're watching Plantastics. Today we're in the cool house. I'm going to be walking you through with me. So let's roll the intro and get started. We are in the Simcourt Cool House at the National Orchid Gardens in Singapore. So the cool air, waterfalls, and mist inside are used to simulate the temperatures and humidity found in high elevation environments like mountains and other tropical areas. So the orchid collection in the Simcourt Cool House has been curated according to 5 biographical regions. They are the Neurotropics, Malaysia, continental Southeast Asia, and South Asia, and Australia. And the glass is specially made to provide additional insulation to keep the cool air from seeping out. So this was an absolutely amazing place to go. So after you have walked for a while, because most of the orchids at the National Orchid Garden are outside, you're going to be very warm. And this is incredibly great to walk in and spend a few minutes and cool off because the air is air conditioned. So you can see there's a great diversity of orchids. There are over 1,000 different orchids of all kinds. I personally grow Miltoniopsis. I have over 10 or 12 of them, and this is the environment where they grow best. They live in high elevation, high humidity, cooler areas, and my home seems to be a good place for them. They are in the coldest room of my house, so they seem to do pretty well. So you have Miltonia and Miltoniopsis here. So here is a type of neither of those, and it is really beautiful. So if you have a Miltonia and a Miltoniopsis, the best way to tell the difference, if you know it's one of those two, is look at the petals. And if they are pointed, it's a Miltonia. If they're all soft, they are Miltoniopsis. So these lady slipper orchids just look so sad and like weepy. It was really interesting. So because they have such perfect conditions in this area, all their orchids are just flourishing. A lot of different gardens, they will take orchids in and out and basically have a constant trade in and trade out system, so something's always blooming. But I don't think that they had to do that here because the environment is so conducive. I imagine that they have orchids blooming constantly, and I come to that conclusion because the orchids were really growing on the walls in some areas. It's like, yes, some of them were fitting into little pockets and holes in the walls, but some of them were just growing up and down the walls, and I thought that that was really cool that they had acclimated and really gotten used to that. This orchid was so weird because it just looked like a centipede to me, and these berries were literally so pretty. They're like this gorgeous pastel pink, and then we've got these super beautiful miniature orchids. So every time we found a really fragrant orchid, we tried to look at the label. So this place seemed to have the best tags. A lot of the orchids, when we were walking around, either the labels had gotten lost or maybe they just weren't there at all. There was an incredibly fragrant Miltoniopsis orchid, and its label just said Miltoniopsis. So I was like, darn it, I really wanted that one. My most fragrant one in my collection is Ethel, Miltoniopsis Ethel. So here is this is the one that was so fragrant that we couldn't see the actual name of. There were so many cute little monkey face orchids, which I'd never seen one in real life before. I've only ever seen photos and videos online. So that was nice. I'd never seen such a large variety of lady slipper orchids. Like, I saw them in different colors and sizes, and in ways I didn't even think that they existed. So this right here is my favorite area in the entire cool house because it's a bunch of Miltoniopsis and they just look so natural, and they were all blooming, literally every single one of them. So you can see they are just so happy there, and there's moss growing everywhere. So I imagine that they run into kind of a difficult thing to maintain, which is keeping the temperature cool and the humidity high, because as someone that lives in the South, yes, it might be 80% humidity outside, but we run the air so much that it just strips the humidity from the air in our homes. So humidity can be kind of low. So I'm curious how they are able to combat that. This orchid had the funniest name. You can read it there. And these huge Phalaenopsis orchids are actually multiple orchids together. Here's a Primulina, which is in the family related to the African violets. And I'd never seen one so healthy, such a large clump. So that one is a Dendrobium, and they had a lot of them. They were just so pretty. And they had tree ferns planted throughout. So if you're not a super crazy orchid person, there are carnivorous plants and pitcher plants. There were a lot of different kinds there. I overall feel like everybody, if you're in Singapore, you've got to go to the National Orchid Garden. Plan out a day, basically, when you're planning your trip, just to go to the garden, because you're going to have so much fun seeing all the beautiful things. This right here was my favorite part. It's like you're at the bottom of the waterfall and you can just see the mist, and it's just so peaceful and amazing. We happened to go at a time when it wasn't too busy. Thank you so much for watching my video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to support me, click on and shop my Amazon affiliate links. Until then, I'll be seeing you next time. Goodbye.